we outside at a vacant, just looking at opportunities. So when I first got my first start in real estate, it was when I went to Detroit, Michigan. My brother-in-law took me to his first rental, and I got inspired to do it. So today we're just kicking it, giving a little bit of game, you know, what to look for as a new investor, especially, you know, you want to get started into real estate, how to do it the right way so you can save yourself time, money, and, you know, get on the right path. So here we in front of a vacant. I got my first start when I was in Detroit with my brother-in-law. So he took me down there and showed me. I got really inspired by it. So I got on the path of investing in real estate by just researching, going deep and deep and deep into the rabbit hole, you know, how to get started. So I got started first off with wholesaling. Wholesaling is like when you are the middleman in between the buyer and the seller. So with that being said, it's different types of real estate that you can get into. You know, you look at something like this, of course it's the ugliest house on the block, but that's just opportunity. You gotta find opportunity in anything, and if you can see it, you know what I'm saying, then take advantage of it. We doing some in the field work, dropping some gems on the real estate talk. I'm with my dog, my right hand man, Wesley.
What's going on?
So we had met up, and I think you said 2017.
Yep, 2017.
2017 we met up and went on a real estate journey, doing wholesale real estate. So that was our introduction into real estate, was through wholesaling. So yeah, we've been on this for a minute. So I'm gonna drop. We did a lot, learned a lot, took some L's, kept going, and you know, we turned our brand up, and we've been rocking ever since though. So we learned a lot. So I just want to share some valuable information for the new people that's jumping off the porch, hopping into real estate, things to look out, to avoid, not to do, to save you some time, you know, and so you get it done the right way the first time, you know what I'm saying? So man, we just out here in the field really dropping some game. This is Real Estate Talk Part 1. So in Detroit was my first start. I was riding with my brother-in-law. He took me to his first rental. Now, the reason why Detroit is like the perfect place is because it's dirt cheap. The land is dirt cheap. It's a lot of investment opportunity. A lot of out-of-towners come there. So as they see it's a steal, you know, they jump right up on it. So that's why it's important, you know, if you are in the city of Detroit, that you get up on it and learn as much as you can. So it's a lot of value coming into this, a lot of new attractions and entertainment, and it's a lot of money coming into the city. So, you know, it's going to bring up the value. So, you know, they picking it up at dirt cheap. So for all the new investors, the first thing you want to do when you want to get started in real estate is to do your research. That's podcasts, books, YouTube, university, any and everything you can get your hands on. You know, you want to just get in there and find it out what it is you can do. So there's different types of strategies. The first strategy I came across was wholesaling when I was doing my research. Now, wholesaling is when you are the middleman between the buyer and the seller. Types of real estate you will find when you're researching is single family, multifamily. So what you want to do is pick one of them and learn the strategy. That strategy can be wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, single family, multifamily, duplex, triplex. And then you want to learn what goes into it, like what are investors putting into it. You want to learn the comps of the different areas. So yeah, you want to learn what investors are doing, what are they putting into it, what type of materials are they using, where they're going to go get their materials, how much are they paying for the materials. And then the most important thing is networking. Join your local real estate group. You will find there a lot of people, even if you don't have experience in the game, you'll find a lot of people who are looking to help you, who can tell you about funding. You know, you can find out about hard money. Hard money is somebody who's looking to give out money to you. You know what I'm saying? So you just make that connection. If you don't have, you know, the right things that the bank requires you to use, you're gonna have to go with hard money. So at real estate groups, you can find mentors. So the best thing I learned is when you're talking to somebody, don't ask them for help. Ask them what can you do for them, because the most important thing you can do is be a person of service. If you ask somebody, is there anything I can do for you? Whatever it is that you can do for them, they will think about it. And when they think about it, they'll think of you. So, you know, you help them, they help you, and that's how you get further along. You don't want to do this by yourself. You want to get in the game with somebody who got skin. Also, the biggest thing I learned by saying that as well, vet the people that you're talking to and doing business with. Always vet them. Go pull up to their project, see what they got going on. look at their portfolio, ask around about them, you know, just see what they got going on, see if they're really legit and who they are. Because, you know, it's a lot of scammers out there, you know, people who just say they do stuff and they don't really be doing it. So definitely vet everybody that you come in contact with that tell you that can help you out, you know. Story time. I signed up when I got into wholesaling. I signed up to get help, right? Dropped a cool 500, you know, nothing too much. But we didn't vet the person. So the person really just, you know, took us for a loop. I took a loss not vetting someone. So, you know, it's just a lesson, not a loss. Do your best due diligence and definitely vet everybody that you come across with. So with the wholesaling real estate, right? If you have zero knowledge, it is cool because it shows you the whole process from breaking down the property, what needs to be done, what needs to be put into it, what the cost would be, why do people want to sell, what are their motivations to sell, learning what a title company is. We was doing wholesale. We'll use apps like Deal. So we'll come to a property like this, and we'll put it in an app called Deal Finder. Deal Finder would pull up the owner's address, how to reach out to them, how many people lived here, who to get in contact with. And then we did PropStream. PropStream, kind of the same thing, show us the information on any owners. And then we would use, I think we would handwrite letters and send them in the mail and kind of send an offer. Just throw like a quick offer out there just to get a response when we called them and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You just reaching out to the owner, seeing if they're interested in selling the property. If they are, you make an appointment, go check it out, take some pictures of it, get estimates of what you think is worth. Try to get it on. I think what we doing 75% discount, 75% discount on the dollar. So of course the owner will have a price in mind what they think the house is worth, but then you put that math in, the ARV, after repair value. So we're looking at the roof, we're looking at the siding, the porch, you know, everything on the inside, the interior, the windows. We're looking at everything, and we're taking the value for it, what it would be worth. So then after that, if the price works out for our buyers, then we would submit that. We would submit the deal to the buyers. Now, in order to be able to submit the deal to the buyers, you need a buyer's list. So that's where it comes in handy, where you're going to the real estate investment club, your real estate club. So then you can get people who are known as buyers in the city. So you build up your buyers list. You ask them what they're looking for, their criteria, what they invest in. When you come across something that fits their criteria, that what they're looking for, you can reach out to them and know that they're serious. So other marketing strategies we use was called like bandit signs. So I'm gonna put a picture in there so you can see what it looks like. So we was hanging these up or sticking them in the ground. So when people, even, you know, you always have eyes on your marketing without you having to work so hard, you know. So they see we buy houses and they pick that number and they call.
Yeah, another way to come across properties is a simple way, just by riding through the city that you live in, just riding through different blocks. And if you see any abandoned homes or homes that look distressed, write down the address. And what you can do to try to find out who own these homes is just, like I said, write down that address and simply hopping on Google. You can start there by pulling up for your city. Because a lot of times what you can do is every home has a parcel number. So what you can do is go online, simple, make a Google search, type the address in, see if you can get the parcel number. And a lot of the times when you pull that information up, it'll have a tax record of who owned the home or who last lived in the home. And then if you can find out a name of who lived in that home, write that name down. And then what you can do is the software program that we used to use. One was named REI Skip, I believe, and REI Pro. These are different websites and software that you can use if you have a name. Type these individual names in and try to pull up their information. That way, like I said, if you can get their information, whether it's a phone number, address, you can reach out directly to see if they are willing to sell the property that you found. So that is, like I said, one thing that we did in the past, like I said, just to get leads, you know what I'm saying, to find homes that you can potentially invest in. Because like I said, that's the best place to start sometimes is in your own city, because a lot of the times right in your backyard there's plenty of opportunity. So like I said, you have to get creative. So like I said, that's one way that you can get creative in order, like I said, to get your first property under your belt. And then from that point, when you find that property, what you can do if you need funding, because that's the next step. All right, you found a property, but now how can I purchase the property? That's, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people question, how can I purchase this property that I found? What you can do is, like I said, one way is if your credit is decent, go to your bank. If you have relationships, I'm saying, with a bank, whether it's a bank or a credit union, inquire about getting a loan, because what you sometimes can do is like you do for a car. Go to the bank. I found a property that that I'm interested in, and I want to know, how can I get funding, or can I get a loan to purchase this property? That's one way. Like I said, if a bank, if that's something they're able to do. Or another way is to what you might see, or what you can Google, is what's called a hard money lender. So a hard money lender basically is a person that will lend you the money, and of course they charge this money, so they charge interest just like anything else. So any type of loan that you get, whether it's a bank or a credit card, everything has interest. So they'll loan you the money, and you have to make interest. You have to pay them in interest basically on that money that they're loaning. So like I said, if you don't have credit or you don't have any other resources, it might cost a little bit more to get that money, but I mean, you can't get the money. So like I said, you just have to get creative. And another way too, I don't know, it's a good way to go about it, but it's kind of risky. But if you have credit, if you already have a credit card, just say for example you have a $10,000 limit on the credit card, you can do what's called a cash back option, because on every credit card that you have an option to, I'm saying, get cash off that credit card. And they have websites. One, I believe, is called Plexico, or you can just simply go and Google, how can I liquidate a credit card? And you can pull the money off that credit card in order to finance an actual investment that you're trying to invest in. But like I said, just keep in mind, if you do that, you want to make sure that you can pay that money back, because you will have a balance. It's best really to do it if you have a business, because if you have a business, you can pull from these business credit cards and it won't affect your personal credit, because anytime you do this with a personal credit card, your utilization will go up. So on a personal credit card, you know you want to stay under 30%. But if you have a business credit card, it doesn't affect the utilization rate. So if you have a $10,000 limit, you can pull the whole $10,000 off that card, and it won't hurt your credit because it doesn't count against your utilization. So like I said, you just have to get creative in order to get funding. So that's a couple ways that I know, and from experience, whether, like I said, personally or through people that I've seen just coming up that have, like I said, took like that started, that didn't have any means like outside far as family, but that's the way that they got started, is like I said, by using some of these resources. So,
and you know, the city probably like the only place where you can cop a crib for $1,000 or under $1,000. You know what I'm saying?
What you can do is go straight to Google once again and look up what's called land bank owned properties. So with land bank owned properties, a lot of the time the city is trying to get rid of these properties because they're sitting and they're not collecting any income taxes off these properties. So what you can do is, like I said, a lot of the times it's an incentive for the city to get rid of these properties for a cheap price, because they want to generate some type of revenue off these properties. So like I said, what you can do is whatever city that you live in. For example, I live in Oakland County, so I can go on Google land bank properties in Oakland County, and you will pull up a lot of the time a list. It'll have a list of homes that are land bank owned, and like I said, a lot of the times you can buy these properties directly. Sometimes you might have to bid on them, and sometimes they have what's called auctions, where you go to your local county facility, like ours in Oakland County is 1200 North Telegraph. You can go here, I think it's 1200 North Telegraph, don't quote me, but you can go here and they have an auction, I believe it's every Thursday, for homes, like I said, that are land bank owned. Some of them are bank owned, but yeah, like I said, these are different avenues that you can do and tap into in order to get, you know what I'm saying, and find out about properties in your city. So just want to add that too.
All right, so he was mentioning the funding, hard money, that's an option. Liquidating your credit card,
introductory benefit. So if you open up a credit card account, for example, sometimes they may have where you have 0% APR for like 18 months or 12 months. So basically what that means is you have a credit card and you don't have to pay any interest on that credit card for sometime, like I said, up to a year to up to 18 months. So for example, what you can do with these credit cards, just say if you open up an account and you have a $20,000 limit on that card, you can liquidate that card, pull that cash off. They have different websites and different programs. So one I know is called Plastique. You can liquidate that credit card and you pay a small fee, but you can liquidate most of that card and you have cash up front to play with if you find any investments that you would like to jump on. So if you don't have money, that's just a way, like I said, that you can get your hands on some money if you have credit. Because sometimes, like I said, a lot of us don't have money, but you may have access to credit. So that's just another way to get in the game if you don't have any money up front.
So when you are researching, right, what you want to research is what makes a deal a good deal. So, so you're not being afraid to make the investment. That also goes hand in hand with having a mentor that you can bring the deal to. So if it makes sense, then you pull the trigger. So that's what we're saying, like, join a real estate group. Don't be afraid to get out there and network, because you never know who you're gonna bump into, and you just jumping off the porch. You just getting in the game, So you can go to the real estate. You can join your local real estate club, and even if you don't have no experience, we ain't had no experience, but we joined that mug, and we met a lot of cool people, and that just helped us on our journey. Of course, we got friends and family that's already in the game, so we just wanted to get in the game ourselves, take initiative. So when we are coming to our friends and family that are in the game, we can speak the same language. Let them show them that we're really serious about, really getting into it. Show them that we can spot a deal, bring a deal when opportunity presents itself, bring it to them, and get rocking and rolling when you're in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, 100%. Yep, because that's the thing, man. When you have an opportunity, you want to know, like I said, that you did your homework and you confident in what you're talking about. So when you go to someone else, like, they see that you're confident and they know what you're talking about, because that could be one of the quickest ways to kill a deal, is if you bring something to someone and the math not math and it's not making sense. So like I said, you want to make sure you're on point, because sometimes you get that one shot and that might be the only shot you get. So you just want to make sure you do it right from the jump.
Good game right there. Good game. So what would you say was some challenges getting started when we was first getting into it?
So thinking back when we first were getting into it, it's just like I said, you kind of going in blind. So one of the biggest challenges that I can think of off the top of my head is with wholesaling, because that's where we started at, is really convincing someone to sell their property. Because a property is a lot of times that's one of their most valuable possessions, that they have, is their home. So that was the biggest thing that I can recall off the top of my head is, convincing someone that we're trying to help them, because that's what we were trying to do. You in the middle, you solving a problem for the seller, and you are bringing the deal to a buyer. So like I said, but a lot of time, like I said, we are trying to get these properties at a discounted price, because like I said, the numbers got to make sense. So that was the hardest part, is trying to convince someone that the deal that we were presenting was a good deal. So like I said, that was one of the biggest things that I could think off the top of my head.
I'll probably say the hardest challenges getting started was like just being nervous. Nervous. Yeah. You go into these people's crib and you don't know them, they don't know you. Exactly. So it's like, all right, so yeah, that goes into, we didn't understand at first, but as you never be discouraged, keep going, and then you start learning more and more. So you have to connect with the seller, right? What is their growing pains? Why are they selling it? What are they trying to do? What are they going through? And find a solution. You gotta be a solution. You gotta make a solution, bro.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, wholesaling just wasn't for me, because I ain't feel like keep bothering somebody to get their house, and then you getting it at a discount. They think it's way more than what it's worth, and sometimes people don't want to hear that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard in that aspect, like you said, trying to get somebody to sign that contract. So it's different strategies you can house hack. That's what it's called, house hacking, right?
Yep, house hacking.
House hacking, where you get, I believe it's either a duplex or a triplex, and you live in one of the units, and then after a year or so, you move out and replace your unit with somebody else, rent that to somebody else. So you can house hack.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you just got the cash and you spot, what you saying?
Yeah, and she just mentioned that of owning or like a triplex or a duplex, that house hacking, that's gold. Because like I said, if you find, let's say, a 3 or a 4 family unit, you can live in one of the units, and those other units that you're not living in, rent those out, so you basically can live rent free. So for example, like if I'm living in one unit, the other units that are I'm renting out, just say my mortgage or is just say $1,000 a month, and I'm charging $500 a month for these other 3 units that I'm not living in. That's $1,500 that I'm getting from these 3 units. So it's basically paying the whole mortgage, and I got an extra $500 to play with, and I'm living rent free. So that's definitely, like I said, golden, that house hacking that he just mentioned in regards to the duplex and triplex.
Yeah, so it's just other strategies is just way more better with your time versus you trying to play middleman.
Right.
Just go learn the game, find a mentor, and you could do a joint mentorship. If somebody got the cash and you got the knowledge, y'all both come together and make it work. And it's a lot more easier when you're working with other people than trying to do it by yourself. You get ahead way faster than working with other people.
100%.
A lot of investment opportunity. Every time we go down there, I always say, I'm definitely gonna grab me a lot, because it be booming, it be jumping. A lot of people be coming there, and you need parking.
Exactly, always need parking.
I definitely want to invest in one of them lots down here.
Too far as finding, like, if you don't know anyone far as repairs, because like a lot of these homes, they will need some work. So if you don't know anyone personally, like bro mentioned, like if you are in any of these real estate groups, connect, like I said, at these different events. So when you go to these events, there's a lot of times there's contractors there, because contractors and real estate go hand in hand. They're looking for work just like you're looking for properties. So like I said, connect with these people, because you will need someone, if you don't know how to do it yourself, to fix up these properties. And then as bro mentioned, vetting. So like when you do find someone and you connect with people, make sure that you have you had any prior jobs? You got any portfolio, any pictures of your work that you did in the past? Because a lot of times contractors, like, some of them are shady, so they will, oh yeah, I can do this. They get your money and they run off on you, or they do a half done job, and you have to go back over that work and come out of more money because you paid these people for something that they really couldn't do from the jump. So like I said, that is one of the most important things I feel, in my opinion. Like I said, if you can't do the work yourself, is making sure you lock in with a good contractor that can do the work, because like I said, that will save you a lot of time and headache in the long run by getting that right from the beginning.
No cap. I be in the little Facebook groups, the real estate groups, and they be exposing contractors all the time. So if you definitely do want to find good contractors, they be on live posting their work all the time. You can always see what they doing and what people are saying about them. So yeah, you won't get scammed.
Exactly.
Yeah, my brother-in-law definitely had somebody. Bro, I was there and I left. I came back. He was doing painting, right?
Yeah.
Got off on the watches.
Wow.
hit the watches, bro. I'm like, dog ain't back. He like, man, cuz took the watches. My sister hired him. So yeah. Definitely look around, get word of mouth, ask about people that you're working with when you vetting them.
Exactly.
Do you know this person, anything about them, or look in them groups, see if they really value what they work, so you don't get got down on. Because that's one thing that's real hard, is finding good work, people that really got they permits and stuff, and they real official.
Exactly. And too, just something else I just thought about. Sometimes what you can do also to find a contractor is going to like your local Menards, your local Home Depot, Lowe's. So a lot of times contractors will have their information like on the bulletin boards. They may have cards, they may have flyers, they may have all that stuff, like I said, at these local, hardware stores, that you can just go right in, and like I said, and reach someone local right in your city. That's just another, like I said, resource too. It's just by checking, like I said, at these hardware stores, because that's where people are going to shop. So that's another place to check too.
Real game. That's a gem right there. I forgot.
Yeah.
And they got a list of who's spending the most there too. So
exactly.
You really want to meet some people that's really spending, like some real investors. If you really want to meet them, they got a list of people that'll let you know who really spending and who really, you know, coming in copping materials.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a real game. I forgot all about that, dog.
Yeah, and speaking of, while we speaking on that too, man, like I said, speaking of going back to credit, going to Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, get you a card, get you a Home Depot card, get you a Lowe's card, because when you are buying and fixing, you're gonna have to buy these materials. So if you got a credit card, like I said, at these department stores, it goes hand in hand, because you can keep some of your personal cash, you know what I'm saying, on the sidelines for other things, and just use that credit, because that's the whole purpose of using credit, you know what I'm saying, is to, like I said, use other people's money to fund your projects, so you don't have to come out of pocket your money. And of course you pay it back, but like I said, just make sure you utilize that, because that's what the whole purpose of these store cards, because they have different programs as well where it may be no interest on these cards for, you know what I'm saying, 12, 18 months. So like I said, that's just another thing that wish I would have did when I first started versus coming out of pocket, because I cashed everything out. I just paid out of pocket. So like I said, definitely utilize your credit if you have that available to use.
Yeah, I had went in there and seen that they had you can pick something, and it was like between a vacuum cleaner, a toolbox, and something else. And I applied and I got the Lowe's business card. So yeah, definitely go check out Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Menards. Yep. Definitely go check them out. Get the cards cracking. It's definitely saved. And I think I had got the Lowe's card, and it was like, I think 60 day. It was you can pay it back in 60 days, or you can get, I think, 3% cash back. So it give you 60 days to pay that card back. So that's what, 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months to pay it back, no rush. And you know, the projects take time, so you know, stuff always happen unexpectedly, so that just give you a little cushion on the, you know.
Exactly, definitely, because like I said, with these projects, because sometimes when you go in, you get to fixing one thing, you may run into another problem that's unexpected. So like I said, that happened to me personally with a home that I had and was working on the upstairs. In the basement, started leaking. I had a pipe that bust. So like I said, stuff just happens. So that's why you want to make sure, like I said, sometime that you use your credit if you have it available. That way you got cash on the sidelines if you run into an emergency like that, to, like I said, run into fix unexpected problems that you may run into.
All right, yeah, that's part one. Stay tuned for part two. Make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment below. If you're in the city, leave a comment below, show some love. I'll see you guys in the next one.